Hello everyone, welcome to EdCam channel. Today video lecture we are going to talk about different types of bonds. So first we are going to talk about ionic bond, then we are going to talk about the covalent bond, next the formal charge, how to calculate it, and the types of overlapping. There are two types of overlapping, one is sigma overlapping, another is the pi overlapping. So let's just start. So the chemical bond, as we already discussed about the bonds, okay. So next, the bond is nothing but the force of attraction. So that force of attraction, that can be a strong force of attraction and that can be a weak force of attraction. And because of strong force of attraction, we will call that is as a strong bond. And the weak force of attraction, we will call it as a weak bond. Okay. So the strong bond are ionic bond, covalent bond, coordinate bond, and metallic bond. Weak bonds are hydrogen bond and van der Waal bond. So next we'll go one by one. First we'll talk about the ionic bond. So what are this ionic bond? The chemical bond formed between two or more atoms as a result of, listen this one, complete transfer of one or more electrons. So the transfer of electron that create the ionic bond. We'll take the example. Let's see. The sodium. So sodium, as we already know, electronic configuration is 281 and the chlorine is 287. So what we see that in the outermost shell of sodium there is one electron, and in the outermost shell of chlorine there is 7 electron, right? So if chlorine will get one electron, that means the octet is completed, or the sodium will lose one electron and sodium will have octet rule. So what happens whenever there is a formation of ionic bond, one electron, one or more electron will transfer from sodium to chlorine. Or you can say another example also, okay. So from sodium to chlorine, there is a transfer of electron, complete transfer of electron. So sodium loses one electron, whereas chlorine gain one electron. And in this way, the sodium chloride will form. Next, magnesium oxide. So magnesium oxide, magnesium, 2 electrons are present around the magnesium and 6 electrons around the oxygen. So similarly, magnesium has 2 electrons in its outermost shell or orbit. So what happens? Magnesium loses 2 electrons, or there is a transfer of 2 electrons to the oxygen atom, and that will form the magnesium oxide. If 2 electron is transferred, we will say it as a positive 2. In case 2 electron is gained, then we'll call it as a negative 2. So this positive and negative are called as cation, and negative ions are called as anion. So what are cation? What are anion? Cations are the species which has positively charged, anion are the species which has negatively charged. Next, we'll talk about the properties of ionic bond. First property: ionic compounds are hard, crystalline, strong electrostatic force. See, if we'll talk about the sodium chloride, as you already know, sodium chloride, it is a hard crystalline solid. Okay, the force of attraction is very high between sodium and chloride ion. Next property: high melting and boiling point. High melting and boiling point. Yes, sodium chloride, it requires a huge amount of energy to melt and huge amount of energy to boil. They are good conductor of electricity. Yes. How it is? If we'll take sodium chloride, if we'll put it into the water. So what will happen? It will become salt water, and salt water is a good conductor of electricity. They are highly soluble in water. Yes, this is also correct. Sodium chloride is, if will, as soon as you put sodium chloride into water, it is going to dissolve. That means they are highly soluble in water. Condition of stable ionic bond. So as you already know that a ionic bond is formed between cation and anion, right? So there are few stability of this cation as well as stability of the anion. So what are those conditions? First condition: ionization energy of cation should be low. Remember, this should be low. What is the meaning of ionization? Ionization, in basic concept, ionization is, so suppose a atom is there and it has so many electrons. Okay, so what is the meaning of ionization? The amount of energy required to remove one electron. So you want to remove one electron, the amount of energy required, that is known as ionization energy. So the ionization energy should be low ionization energy. For an example, sodium plus, magnesium 2 plus, or Al3 plus. Among this, sodium has low ionization energy. So that means sodium form is stable cation compared to the Al3 plus. Next one is electron affinity. So the electron affinity should be high. High electron affinity. So what is the meaning of electron affinity? Electron affinity means one amount of energy released when one electron is added to the isolated gaseous atom. So you are adding one electron and the amount of energy released, that is known as electron affinity. So electron affinity should be high. High electron affinity, that is chlorine has the highest electron affinity. Next one is the lattice energy, and lattice energy should be high. So what is the meaning of lattice energy? The lattice energy is the amount of energy required to break 1 mole of crystal lattice. So for an example, NaCl is there. Okay, so you are providing the energy to break the 1 mole of crystal lattice or 1 mole of bond, or the reverse of that one, that is the amount of energy release. Amount of energy release, that means NaCl is there. So when the amount of energy release to form 1 mole of crystal lattice, so that lattice energy can be positive or that can be a negative. Okay, you just remember, it can be positive or negative, and the lattice energy should be high. And this, what is this Z plus and Z minus? These represent the charge. So you can take any of this ionic charge of cation or anion. So if cation is more, that means it will have high lattice energy. So if lattice energy is more, that means the compound will have high ionic property. And we'll talk about the covalent bond. So what are these covalent bond? A bond is formed by sharing of electrons between two or more atoms, okay, in their octet rule, to complete their octet rule. So basically, as we saw the structure of hydrogen, so hydrogen, they will have one single bond. So that means two electron, and that two electron shared by this one and this hydrogen atom. Oxygen, will talk about the oxygen. So this 4 electron is shared by these two, this atom as well as this atom. So to complete the octet, if we'll count the number of electron around this oxygen, that will be 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. This was also 8. You can take many example. For an example, water. So water, that we already saw the Lewis dot structure. So one single bond, two electron, another single bond, two electron. If we complete this one, circle it. So there is 8 electron, 1 2 4, and single bond, two electron, single bond, two electron. Total is 8. And hydrogen will form only duplet only. Okay. So there are many examples. So what is the meaning? The sharing of electrons. So that means these two electrons are shared by oxygen as well as hydrogen. Here you can see that this 4 electrons is shared by oxygen and this oxygen. So the bond formed by sharing of electrons, that is called covalent bond. Next we'll talk about the formal charge. How it is defined: on an atom in a molecule reflect the electron count associated with the atom compared to the isolated neutral atom. See what is the meaning? Meaning is, so in a molecule there are so many atoms, right? So the formal charge count the number of electron associated. So there must be some number of electron associated with this hydrogen and this oxygen as well as this hydrogen. So how can you count the formal charge? That can be calculated as number of valence electron in a free atom minus total number of non-bonding electrons minus half of total number of bonded electrons. To represent this number of valence electron, I have represented a V minus total number of non-bonding. Non-bonding here N minus 1 by 2 half. This one is total number of bonded electrons. Next we'll talk about different molecules and we'll calculate the formal charge. We'll talk about the water. As you already know, water structure is, this is oxygen, this one is hydrogen, this is hydrogen, and two electron. 2 electron, 4 electron. So how many electrons are there around this oxygen? As I already told you, single bond, 2 electron. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 2, this is 2. Total is 8. So formal charge can be calculated as Fc is equal to. So what is the total valency of this oxygen? So that is 6, right? As you already told you, oxygen can be represented as 2, 6. So total valence electron is 6 minus. How many electrons are there where non-bonded electron? How many non-bonding? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 electrons which are not bonded or non-bonded, minus 1 by 2. How many electrons are there which are bonded? This one is 2, this one is 2. So that is 4. So what is the answer? 0. That means no charge on this oxygen. Next we'll talk about the O3, ozone. What is the structure of ozone? Oxygen. There is one double bond, oxygen, another bond, oxygen. Okay. So just complete the octet. This is 4 plus 4, 8. This is already 6. Another 8. Another. So we have to complete the octet. So 2 plus 2, 4 plus 2, 6 plus 2, 8. So I am giving you, this is number 1, number 2 and number 3. Okay, that will be helpful for us. So we'll calculate the Fc on first one. So what is the first one? That is oxygen is 6 minus how many non-bonding electrons are present? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 minus 1 by 2. Bonding electron 4. So answer is 0. That means this oxygen has 0 charge. Next we'll calculate Fc on second one. So second one, valence electron is 6, non-bonding electron is 2, minus 1 by 2, bonding electron is 1, 2, 3, that means 6. So this one is 3 plus 1. Formal charge on the third one. So that is 6 minus how many electrons are there non-bonded? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 minus 1 by 2. This is one bond. One bond means 2 electrons. So this one is minus 1. So what is the actual structure of ozone? Oxygen, double bond, oxygen, single bond, oxygen. Here it will be positive charge, here it will be negative charge. This one is carbonation. So similarly, carbon, double bond O. You have to complete the octet also. Here single bond, here single bond. So this is 2, this is 2, this is 2. Here it is 2, 2 and 2. So all are octet completed. So I'm doing this one. The charge on this, formal charge on this and the formal charge on this will be same. So I'm just calculating the first one. So first one will be oxygen, again 6 minus this one is 6 minus this is also 1 by 2 and this one is 2. So this is minus 1 and this is also minus 1. So what is the actual structure? Carbon, if you represent, this oxygen has 0 formal charge. You can calculate it. So this is the structure of carbonation. So how do you know which one will be center atom? So generally what happens, the atom which has less electronegative, that will have, that will occupy the center atom. Next one is sulfuric acid, as you already know, HO, and another is O, another oxygen, another oxygen. So complete the octet, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm just doing one. You can try by yourself. So I'm just trying this one. As you already know that this one will have so that is Fc is equal to 6 minus 4 minus 1 by 2, 4. So that will be 0. That means this is 0, this is 0. Whole molecule is neutral. This whole molecule is, this is positive, here it is negative. Whole molecule is neutral. But here you see, as there are two charges, so what happens? That's why we are generally writing CO3 2 minus whole charge. You can try another example. For an example, you see that NH4. So what is the structure of NH4? NH4 hydrogen, 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 and hydrogen. Try this one. You will see that the formal charge Fc on nitrogen, that is nitrogen, as you already know, there is 5 minus how many electrons are there which are non-bonded, that is 0 minus 1 by 2, 1 2 3 4 into 2, that is 8. So this is 4, 5 minus 0 and minus 1 minus 4, so that will be 1. So this is known as ammonium ion. Ammonium ion. So that will be NH4 positive charge. Next we'll talk about the two type of bonds in the covalent compound. One is the sigma bond, another is the pi bond. So first we'll discuss about what are sigma bonds. So the sigma bonds are defined as the covalent bond is formed by end-to-end or head-on overlapping of bonding orbitals along the inner nuclear axis. So the bond formed by axial overlapping. What is the meaning of axial overlapping? Let us start. So first one we'll discuss about SS overlapping. That means this S orbital will overlap with this S orbital. So one is the S, another S. When they will axially overlap, that means if we'll consider this one is axis, they are overlapping. So that type of overlapping is SS overlapping. For an example, if we'll consider the H2 molecule. So one hydrogen has one S, another is S. So those are the example of SS overlapping. Next one is SP overlapping. That means overlapping between half-filled S orbital of one atom, half-filled another atom. So what is the meaning? Meaning is one S is overlap with another P, and that overlapping should be the axially. So this is the axial overlapping. Here it is axial overlapping. So whenever there is axial overlapping, that means that that will form the sigma bond. So you can take the example of HF. Here HF, the example of sp overlapping. Overlapping is pp overlapping, and we are talking about sigma bond. So how the sigma bond will form? Axial overlapping. So overlapping between half-filled p orbital. So p orbital, this one is p, this is also p, and they overlap in between. They overlap as axially. So axial overlapping. So this one is axial overlapping, and that overlapping is pp overlapping. For an example, Cl2 is the example, or F2 is the example. Next one, we'll talk about the pi bond. So how the pi bond will form? Pi bond will form due to sidewise or overlapping. That means you can also say sidewise, or you can also say lateral overlapping. That means, see, one of the p's, let's suppose this is one p, okay? So other p, if it is overlap with laterally with other p orbital, so this kind of lateral overlapping will produce pi bond. So here is another better example picture. So this one is pi, this is p, another p, they overlap laterally, so they will form pi. So here it is example of 1p and 1d, so they overlap laterally. So this is p and d overlapping. Why it is pi? Because this overlapping is laterally. So p pi d pi. Here it is d pi d pi. That means one d and another d, they overlap laterally. We'll talk about the strength of the sigma bond. So pp sigma bond will have higher strength than sp than ss. Strength of order of pi bonds. So pi bond strength is 2p 2p. Pi bond is more strength than 3p 3p. We'll talk about the sigma in pi bond in organic molecule. So this is very important because many questions ask about how many sigma and how many pi bonds are present in this following compounds. So we'll take one example from alkane, alkane and alkyne. I think this alkane, alkane and alkyne you have already studied in your lower class. What is the general formula of alkane? CnH2n plus 2. Alkene is CnH2n, alkyne is CnH2. H2n minus 2. We'll take one example from each. First we'll take which one? Alkane. Okay, so alkane is CH4. Let's suppose CH4. So as we already know that C, 1 bond, 2 bond, 3 bond, 4 bond. So what happens? The basic concept. So whenever there is a single bond, so first bond is the sigma bond between two atoms. Let's suppose A and B is there and there is a sigma bond. So in single bond represent the one sigma. If there is two bond between these two atoms, so two bond means one sigma is there and one pi is there. If there is a three bond between two atoms, so that means at least one sigma is there and other are pi. So that means among these three, one is definitely one sigma and rest all are pi. How many all are pi? That means 2 pi. So use this concept, solve this one. So see, this one is single bond. So this is one sigma bond. This is also sigma. This is also sigma and this is also sigma. So total how many sigmas are there? So that is 4 sigma. Is there any pi? Because there is no double bond. So no pi. We'll talk about the alkane. Alkane will take about let's suppose C2H4. So what is the structure of C2H4? Carbon, double bond, carbon, hydrogen, hydrogen, hydrogen and hydrogen. So this is the structure of C2H4. So how many bonds are there? So how many bonds are there? This is one sigma, this is sigma, sigma. Here this is pi, here is sigma and sigma. So how many sigmas are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 sigma. And how many pi are there? 1 pi. Alkyne. Alkyne is C2H2. Ethyne. So triple bond, one hydrogen, another hydrogen. So one is the sigma here, at least one sigma and rest are pi. So this is pi and pi. So this one is also sigma. So how many sigmas are there? 1, 2 and 3 sigma and 2 pi. Similarly, we can talk about one question is there. What is the total number of sigma and pi in tetracyanomethyne? So to know the sigma, we have to know the structure. What is the structure? Carbon. Here it is carbon. C. Cn is there. Cn means triple bond. N. It is carbon triple bond and carbon triple bond and here it is be carbon triple bond. And I think now it is very clear. So how many sigmas are there? This one is 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So total 8 sigmas are there. How many pi? Here it is 2, 2, 2, 2. So how many 2's are there? 4. So that is 8 pi. It's question time. I want you to solve these 3 questions and let me know in the comment section. Question number 1, 2 and 3. So I think these questions are very easy. I hope this concept is clear to you and I'm going to provide you the answer. Question number 1, answer is B. Question number 2, answer is C. Question number 3, answer is A. You can share this video with your friends. Thank you for watching this video.